Good morning, optimists. Today is Monday, July 24th, 2023. And markets are kind of moving a little bit up, a little bit down today. I know the Dow was having some troubles. Today we have PMI data. So nothing major that's moving markets today, but it does look like we're kind of battling out that those gains that was gained last week on the S&P 500 as well as the Nas. Let's go ahead and pop up the chart. All right, here we are. You see we're starting to come down some. I took 2 trades already. I took one little dinky trade here at the open where I was actually trying to get filled back here, but just struggled the whole way through to get filled. So I ended up getting filled up here kind of at the top. And then I just took it off for a tiny little tick. And then I took this one here, 3 contracts, 3 ticks. And then I could see that it was starting to capitulate and flip back over. So I didn't take any more trades here. And I was waiting for some of these moving averages to line up, and they did. But the last 10 minutes or so, I've been setting up the stream. You can see our markets are still dropping, or ESs rather, still dropping down to 45.70, and the low, let's figure out what the low is here. Probably easier on the 1 minute. So this looks like we're ending up in some bearish territory. Low is at 45.60. We still have room to drop here. So we're at 45.70 now. This could be support, but I don't know. We did drop below the 200 moving average. To me, it seems like there's still more room for this to continue to go down. I could be wrong. It could just bounce off the open number, or whatever. Which looks to be 45.65 ish. It's not really an indicator that I have though. I was looking for one, but I can't seem to. I've struggled to locate one that does what I want it to do. All I really wanted to do is just display, what was the opening price, what was the closing price. If I throw on Bollinger Bands here, we're just slightly outside of it on the downside. So I'd want to see red yellow in order to go long. Otherwise, I'd be looking at short setups. But this whole short run could be over because we did have one big move, followed by a second, followed by a third. So we had 3 big moves to the downside. So there is potential that this could be over. And like I said, it could hold at 70. But if it doesn't hold at 70, I think we have room all the way down to the lows. But we'll see. We shall wait and see. At this point, I wouldn't want to take it on the 10 or 20 second chart. I'd be looking for a 1 minute turnaround, more than likely. We'll take a look at the 10 and 20 and see if there is any real clear setups there. Yeah, you can see the TTM wouldn't be trusted here. So we're not going to trade like that. 20-second chart is showing a possible 5200 crossover to the downside. It's looking like kind of bearish. What up, Kevin? Good to see you here. I know we started a little bit earlier than we normally do, but I don't know. I think it makes sense, honestly, to start at probably 6:30 or something, 6:15. Not committing to that, but we'll see. So this account that I started on Friday is up $954.50 out of 3,000. So it's about a third of the way to earning funding with it. See if we can get a red to yellow flip here at any point. Let's check in on book maps too. We got a reasonable amount of support of 69. Excuse me, off 69. Yep, there's the push up. So it looks like 70 did hold as support. Let's mark it. And let's see. I think we'll stick with 3 and 4. Alright, let's see if there's any. So we've got room up to about 75 if this pops above the volume weighted average price. Where's the view up at? View up's at 70, basically at 75. So can't really take that. It is here bouncing off the support here. It does look like it's gonna pop up. What's the resistance looking like at 75? There's resistance on the VWAP 74 and a quarter. That's about 165 contracts. And then at 75, we've got 260 contracts chilling. And then slightly above that, we got 165 or 125, 165, and 201. So we're looking at about 1,000 contracts or so for that to be able to push through. I'm gonna take might take a little poke right here.
Order
in
filled.
At 73, I'm looking to get a 73.75. So I'm looking for a 3 ticker. Apologies for the
order filled.
There we go, we got that. I have more alarms, so I'm gonna turn these off. Turn off all alarms. Alright, so that was actually a pretty big pop there. We got a little piece of that. It did pop up to 75 and a quarter. And our entry was 73, so that was like a nice 8 ticks. I think we can swing for a little bit higher than 3 ticks. I'll bump up to 4 for now. Maybe we'll go for 5. So we got resistance 75.50, 77, and some smaller resistance from these other areas. 75.75's got 260 contracts chilling, 250 or so. I think that we're going to absorb through that. Getting some pullback though. On 20-second chart, we've got this TTM pushing, which is starting to look a little bit more reliable. But we do have this 5,200 cross on the downside, and this could act as pressure. And that's right there, that $76 mark. 75.75 I said was a area with pretty reasonable amount of resistance. Words. We're up 216.50 on the day. Count is up 10.58. This looks like this could bounce right here. We're within the band. Yep, there's the bounce. I feel the FOMOs. I think 5 ticks seems pretty reasonable. Big drop. Here's some volatility right here in this area. I'll wait till we get something a little bit more solid. We got more resistance than we have support. Although that you can see that the buyers are, it's more heavy on the buy side right now. You can even just see this, just the fact that there's more, like the buy is not in the middle. It's just upper, like above. The buy is starting to get a little bit more close to the middle. The big wick on that red candle there. Big down wick, I should say. Let's take a look at the one. Let's see what we got going on. All right. So we got that doji at the top on that 1 minute candle. So I think this is either gonna rip or drop heavily in either direction. I don't know yet. TTM's at negative 4.9 yellow after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellows. Let's check this on the 5 minute chart. We just passed the top of the hour here at 7 o'clock. Coming up on 7:05. 5 minute chart still on TTM cool. Check out the 3 minute. 3 minutes just now switching red on the TTM. So this isn't in a great place. Although when this pulled back, it did pull back to the 200 moving average on the 3 minute side. So respecting that 200 moving average there. If this does pull back, I think that the pullback will be likely to that 200 moving average and then another bounce off of it. It's really kind of at a zone though right now that I don't feel comfortable trading, just because it's like fluctuating in between above and below the VWAP. It's below the 50 moving average, which I usually don't feel comfortable trading at that area a lot of the time, unless we get like a real clear move, which we had with this one. Switching back to the 1 minute, and you can see we're getting some pullback. So it did end up pulling down some. TTM is still stacking up though at 3.2 from 4.9 when last we checked. So we do have a ways for this to go before we get a cyan switch. You can see EMA 35 is dipping below the 50. It's a bearish sign. Nine EMA is still below the 12 EMA, also slightly bearish. But TTM popping up a full point off that last one. That's pretty good. That's pretty decent momentum. Check the 20-second chart. Bollinger Bands are closing in on each other on the 20. We're just right now in this area of resistance, more or less consolidation in this zone here. You can see 74, 75 was a pretty heavy zone back here. Right now it's still at 75, 75, and 77.50. You can zoom out a little bit. Otherwise, it's pretty clear up to 80. I kind of like being zoomed in a bit. So this is a 12 tick range right here, so big drop. So we'll see if this area holds again. This is a 70 zone. Another test of the support. Is that 200 moving average on the 3 minute chart where it's at now. Big pop back up. The pull went right to that exactly to the support line that we had drawn in. It's probably a little liquidity grab there. Immediately pop 12 ticks. Popping back up to 75. 74.50 rather. That was a pretty broad range off that last 2 minutes. TTM is now at 1.2, and it's looking, as far as moving averages are concerned, they don't look great. As far as the TTM is concerned, it looks like we're about to flip cyan. As far as the chart is concerned, it looks like we're finding support and potentially going to bounce on up through the view app. Checking book maps and still seeing the same resistance zones, so nothing's changed there. I think that we'll see a potentially a complete book flip here in the next 15-20 minutes toward the upside. So a bit of a trend reversal, potentially. That's that Eagle Mantis play that we've talked about in the past. I'm going to watch the 10-second chart here and see if we can get a 5,200 moving average crossover there. Potentially before we get the cyan switch on the 1 minute side. 1 minute cyan switch though, I mean, it's very close by. It's at 0.6 on the TTM. So we might just get a pop up here to like 76. If it flips cyan, that is. TTM's at 0.1 while the moving averages are continuing to push downward. Not 100% sure what to make of that. The 10 is still a pretty decent distance away. The 22nd. 22nd is much closer. So it might be a better one to watch. Yeah, we'll watch the 20-second chart because I can see here where the moving averages are much closer to crossing over. So I may get this information first on the 20-second chart, not necessarily on the 10. Still about $2 divergence on the 5,200 there. 1 minute flashing a cyan candle on the current. What up, ZZ? What up, Tiny? I have internet for the moment. Yeah, my internet's been weird too, man. Like, I'll just be just chilling, then just randomly it'll just drop for like 5 minutes and then come back and be fine. And it's just like, what the heck? My router is new, my modem's new. Is that a new account? Yeah, it's an account that I put that I started on Friday. So it's my second day trading it. I did 840 on Friday. There's the rip that we've been looking for. Kind of missed it. But not really. I think there's still going to be more opportunity right here. Let's get back to book maps. Check that. Been pretty clear up there. I'm going to check those 20 seconds. Hopefully I don't miss too much action. We're running into that 200 moving average there on the 20-second chart. We're outside of that Bollinger Band. I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference. Try to join the bid at 77. Which now feels too high to me. I want to see a pullback to like the 9 EMA, pullback to like 75. Would look good. I don't know if we're gonna get that. I was trying to actually take advantage of this rip that looked like it was inbound this whole time. Counts up 216.50 on the day. I'm gonna wait for this to pull back to. I'm looking for the 9 exponential for a pullback here. We'll check this in the 10. Pretty sure we're probably pretty far away from that crossover. Actually, not too bad. Again, I still think that we need a pullback to about 76. Put a standing order at 76 for an exit at 78 if we pull back. I don't think we're gonna, like I said. Resistance is at 79.50 and 80. Resistance not overly heavy. Only about 400 contracts. Maybe 500. I think that pullback is inbound. I could be wrong though. I have been before. Nah, it's not. Man, why is the chart so slow? Can't believe I missed this. Watched it for a while. Yeah, I really want to see a pullback to like 77. I don't know if we're getting any pullbacks anytime soon. It's a bit more challenging to trade though when it's just ripping straight through like that. Sorry to hear that, Tiny. I also had cable that was ran wrong here. And before I started the stream like last year, I had to have them come out and because I kept getting all these internet drops and stuff like that. And the technician that came out had been doing it for like 30 years, and it was like, "Are you attached to the way that things are cabled up right now?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you have like 6 cables, a bunch of them are connected to nothing, um, and that's just sucking bandwidth from you." I was like, "Well, really?" He's like, "Yeah, so you're gonna want to eliminate a bunch of these and consolidate it into one." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead." And we got room up to 82. That was our little pullback. Maybe I talked too much. We missing moves. Counts up 216.50 today. There's that 10-second crossover, which was on that pullback. So are we going to test the highs again? High up there is around 85-ish, 86.50. Are we going to test the highs again? A little slow and grindy, but $83 was the pop-up zone there. Pulled back to 80, bounced up to 81. TTM's at 4.3 on the 1 minute chart. I'm trying to figure out what it is that I want to see. We've got orders chilling at 79. And orders like resistance up at 85. So I'm going to join the bid. Cutting that order. No fill. TCM seems too extended. I still think that we're going to pop up to like 85 though. TCM's at 5.1. Check the 10. Okay, yeah, we're getting some pullback now. So now I'm going to look for a red yellow on the 10-second chart. There's a downward cross right there, but we got an immediate bounce off the 50 EMA, which was there at 79.50. That bounced up to 81.50, so just 8 ticks, just right there.
Order filled.
In 3 contracts at 81.25. I'm going to get out at 82.50. And that's kind of the high up here on this one. So I'm looking for this to push towards 83. This popped up to 82.25. That's our entrance, 81.25. I'll try and get out right here, 81.75.
Order filled.
Right.
Order filled.
Got out there with a small profit of $75. Up to 82.50 on the day. There's the push. Yeah, it kind of stalled out right here, so I got a little nervous. So I cut it early with a smaller profit than I originally wanted to take. Our original sell order was at 82.50, and it would have worked out. That would have been 5 ticks instead of 2, which would have given us about another $112. But green is good. We're really just running into the upper of the Bollinger Band. Looks like we're gonna pull back some, maybe to about 80, which I think we actually just did. Yeah, close to. At least we have a pullback inbound though, to like maybe mid 70s. I'm looking at this 50 EMA really, and the 35. Resistance still at 83 and 85. Some support off 78, which is where that 50 moving average is. So I'm on the 20-second chart right now. I'm gonna look for red and yellow on the 22nd. And go for 4 ticks on that. It did bounce off the EMA 35, like we mentioned. There's a red and yellow. We're gonna pull back to like, well, we don't even really need a much more pullback, actually. But I'm looking for essentially a red candle to enter.
Order filled.
Entered long here at 81. Kind of tried to grab it a little earlier right there. I'm looking at get out of 82, but there's a little less momentum than I want to see. So I'm just gonna take a micro profit if I can and just get out.
Order filled.
Took the smallest profit I can on that, which is 37.50. My concern here was this red candle coming on the TTM. This could have dropped down to the 35 and maybe even down to the 50. 82 was my initial exit. There it was. It needed to hold on for about 40 seconds, but it also only tapped it. So there's a chance that it wouldn't have filled. And I've been having issues getting fills a lot of the time recently. So I think this would have been better off as a 3 tick and not a 4. And given the stalling of this, and that's what I was worried about right there. I was worried about that on this candle. So I'm grateful that I got out with a tiny little profit. I think this move is a little done for now. It needs to consolidate and find its footing again. Account up 1152.50 on the day, and on the day we're up 311. On the account as a whole, we're up 1152.50. Let's go ahead and take a look at our numbers for today. Today we've taken 3 trades for 7 contracts and 100% accuracy. For this month in this account, we have 100% trading, and on that, it's 11 trades with 100% accuracy. Our largest winner was a 5 tick with 3 contracts for 187.50. Average winning trade is at 106. So pretty good. About as good as one can get, other than taking larger swings, bigger swings. But so far so good. And we're going to hope to maintain that accuracy throughout the duration of this evaluation. It's not a ton of support and a ton of resistance on either side, which means we might start ranging. Kind of already have started ranging on the day. If it does start ranging, I just need to be done. Range trading is not my jam. I do not like it. Coming up on 7:30. Would break down trades like TradeAway does? How so? I'm just curious. Do you mean with the little like arrows? Because I wish that too. Uh, are you talking about like this right here, where there's this little like triangle for representing buy and sell? Got a nice bounce off the EMA 50 there, which is right off that 80 level support that's been pretty consistent. Yeah, so we're getting these like 8-tick moves. I'm gonna zoom out some. Breaking through that Bollinger Band again. This could run up to 85. Let's check the one. So this is breaking through that resistance level that we had right here, which I'm going to place right there. Yeah, it's 82.50. Oh, the stats on each trade. It does have that functionality to be able to do that, but in all fairness, it's a lot easier to, or it's a lot more challenging to read on Thinkorswim than it is on Tradeovate. But it does do that. And yeah, exactly. I know what you mean by like how we did for that session and stuff like that. Tradeovate can break, or Thinkorswim can break it down by the day and by the trade. But you know, I think one of the reasons why it's challenging is because it almost like gives you like too much information. So when I look at this, like I can look symbol, quantity, price, buy, duration, sell time, and sell price, and then the P&L on it, which I think is a lot easier to look at, where it's all in one column for that single trade. Whereas like Thinkorswim is like it's showing you one column for the entry and then another column for the sell, and that can get confusing, especially if you have a lot of trades. So that was a nice pop off that 80. I kind of missed the run, unfortunately. I'm taking these microscopic trades right now. Maybe that's a sign I should be done. I'm up 311 today. I know it's 7:30, which is our normal stream time. You can see all this resistance up there at 86. 86 through 87. The resistance starts at 85 and goes up from there. The strongest resistance at 87. More strong resistance at 90. And there's not much orders above 90, a few, but not that many. But you can see the heavy yellow, red, and orange coloration on this upper area indicates, you know, how many contracts we got chilling here. Up there at this very top, we have a total of 5,100 contracts. And you can see this one here on the right seemingly adds up all the ones on the left. The left is the active on the price, and the right is the total accumulation of all of them. So up here at the very top, up at 93, we've got 6,000 contracts chilling. Let's get a little zoom back in here on the maps of the book. Flipping over to the 10-second chart, which is likely showing us exactly that. There's the rip back down. Yeah, that does make sense. Let me check on my Thinkorswim. I'm going to keep it off the screen just because in order to use Bookmaps, I have to be in my live account. So I think you go to monitor, account statement, and then it's not there. I'm trying to remember how you do this. I used to save these every month. The way that like if you go to what should we call it? I'll have to, if you go to Trader View, hang on, I'm gonna get back to book maps here. Trader View shows you how to do it. I'm working to find it out for you. I'll get it to you in a moment. Just dealing with some more sensitive data, so. Wow, they redesigned Trader View. It looks nicer. I haven't been in here for a while. Yeah, Tiny, have you considered using Trader View? Because you can use it for free. There's also another one that I was using that is free. Which I'll have to find the name of. Oh, import trades. That's what I'm looking for. Let's go to account statement. Click on the drop down on the top of the account statement. Select the date range. The trade history. So account statement. So drop down at the top of the account statement. Wow, I used to do this all the time, like every single week. And now I'm like struggling to do this. It's funny. Well, not really, because it just like makes me feel like I'm like, wow, I need to actually do this more consistently. Hmm. Tiny, I'll get you the information today. You can use the free version, Tiny, which will allow you to import 100 trades a month, which is a pretty reasonable amount of trades. Yeah. There is another program that is free, Tiny, and I have it saved somewhere. Um, and so I will locate that for you because I think that'll help you. But I have to locate it. It's in my bookmarks, and I was using that for a while. It is a free program, and I honestly think it does as good, if not better, job than Trader View. Although Trader View has a new updated version of it, so I don't know if it offers more reporting or is easier to look at. But the other one is kind of so to look at, but the reports are really easy to read and understand. So I'll see if I can locate that for you. And if I do, I'll drop it in the resources section of the Discord community. Let's get back to trading and see what's going on with the market. Oops. First, before we do that, let's get our book maps back up. All right. Here we go. All right, 10-second inbound for a potential downward cross on the 5200 moving average crossover. There was a nice pop here off this 200 moving average, or it wasn't actually. This is actually off of 80. So really, this is kind of what I was trading on Friday, was just riding these reps up and then avoiding the downturns and then riding them up again. Of course, I could have tried to short it, but I don't know. Sometimes that stuff is not as clear cut for me. So right now we got this 35 below the 50, which doesn't look great for this little push up here. That doesn't mean it'll stay that way. This could just push up quite nicely, but we do have this 912 26 crossover on a little cyan switch here. So I think this has pretty decent potential, at least for a little scalp trade. It's this 35 below the 50 though that I don't like. That to me makes it look like it could drop down, and I don't really want to deal with that. 83.25 is heavy resistance now and on up through 85. But 83.25 has a total of 1,500 contracts chilling up there on the way up. 83.25 has 516 at that price itself. So we have to get through about 1,700 contracts in order to break 83.25. And it looks like it's kind of starting to stagnate a little bit. You can see some dojis lining up along the 10-second. If you can start getting dojis on the 10, you know that it's starting to cool off. Let's check out the volume. The volume does seem a little light. Average volume is 2,700 on the day, but you can see we've kind of been declining off of that. What was this one here? This one was 3,500. Which is 4,000. And our last one was 1,700. So definitely volume slowdown up here at the current level. I think that a lot of the momentum is already done for the day and has already kind of exited the market. Being as that's the case, we may not see higher liquidity, higher volume pushes for a while. I was a little miffed that I didn't get a chance to grab this run because I did try. And the same thing happened here at the open, where I tried to get a hold of it, but I just couldn't grab it. Wasn't getting filled. Same thing happened here. This one, I definitely could have held this out through my full trade. And this one, I'm glad I cut with that little micro profit, because even though it did drop down to pop right back up, I think that there would have been high likelihood that I probably would have cut it around here. So, so I'm grateful that I took that little micro profit on that one. Bit miffed that I didn't get a chance to take advantage of this rip here, because I did also see that one available on the I think it was on the 20-second chart that one set up, but it just didn't act fast enough. And I think I was talking. So finding support again along the EMA 35, and that's looking good. There's a red to yellow move there. It's all on light volume now, though. It's the light volume that I think is kind of keeping me from taking these trades now, because as I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, well, this looks like this is the setup here. We got this. In one respect, it's an upside down ABCD. In another respect, it's an ABCD itself. So this right here would probably be the A, and then the B, and then the C, and then the D. And so this likely would be the breakout zone. And there it goes. There's some breakout. But you can see we do have a lot of resistance up here. 84s, around 84 really. This one popped up through it 3 times to 84.75, but stalled out and fell back down. So declining volume in the market, declining quickly too. What up, Pawn? My zoom out, potential head and shoulders. Okay, let's take a look at that. Pull the liquidity higher. My pull out. I'm noticing the liquidity is actually dropping quite a bit, or has dropped quite a bit. Let's take a look at some longer time frames. Let's take a look at the 5. Zoom out a bit too. I'm gonna look at this from the open. And let's jump to a 3-minute chart as well. CTM on the 3 looks a little extended. So I think this was one of our better trades, and this was one of our better trades. I think this one was also pretty decent. I think we did a good job just reducing the sell order on that one, even though there was some op. But like I said, the 3-minute looks a little extended, so we might get a pullback. I'm guessing potentially to about this 50 exponential. If we do pull back, that'd be a pretty heavy pullback. Excuse me. Yeet. We are at 7:45. Switching back to the 1 minute, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I can see this right here being that head and shoulders, shoulder left, head, and this would be shoulder right. Looks like we might get one of the ones that's in the arch formation. So that would likely be like a bump up like this to probably about 82.50 and then a pull back off that. Which it did do that a few minutes ago, right up there at 82.50. And now it's pulling back. Do have yellow on the TTM, but doesn't seem very strong. Excuse me. Doesn't seem as strong as I'd like to see it. This did pull back to the 50 right there at 45.79. Oh, yeah, I saw that on the 1 minute chart actually. Took me a few minutes to see it though, because I started with the 5, then went 3, then 1. One second, y'all. Nose a little allergic. Yeah, I don't know if I want to take any more trades. I'm up 311. So I'm pretty comfortable with the day. I'd like to make a little bit more like 400 to 500, but I also don't want to push my luck. It counts up 1152 over 2 days, so that's pretty decent. What does that come out to? Yeah, so that's like an average of 576 a day. It's definitely decent. That's really just because I had a really good day on Friday. Obviously, we only have 2 days, not really enough for an average. Pretty heavy resistance there at that 8250. Let's check the book maps. Yeah, you can see a lot of orders sitting there. 1,300 contracts in total, up at 83 and a quarter. 540 on 83 and a quarter itself, but 1,300 to get up to that. You can see that the book is flipped slightly on the seller side. The book imbalance is 12% to the sell side. I finally figured out what this indicator is. It's called the imbalance indicator. And it measures imbalance on either side of the book, as well as either side of the volume. So if there's an imbalance on the buy side, this will go green and show, much like more imbalance. You see it's flashing green on the imbalance on the book. I don't fully understand exactly how to do it, how to use it, but what I have noticed is when the volume hits green, typically we rip up. Sometimes when the book hits green, though, we rip down. And so I don't fully understand this quite yet. Just been observing it and trying to understand it. There's not a lot of information on it. And so just been kind of doing my best to understand it. I will say, though, book maps is pretty dope. If y'all haven't tried it, if you use Thinkorswim, you can get it for free. It is a pretty dope program. I've been pretty impressed with it. I've taken some trades based solely off the information in it, and I've also saved myself from taking some bad trades by watching the information that's in it as well. So saved myself a couple of times. I think so this account is 2 days in, taking no losses, which is nice, to say the least. All right, we are getting that pullback down on that head and shoulders that PonCon called out. See if it bounces off this EMA 50 again. But it does look to me more like it's going to flip to the downside and not necessarily bounce again. This looks like we may get a pullback towards VWAP potentially. But the EMA 50 has been holding pretty strongly, so let's take a look at the NAS, see what's going on here. NAS is moving slow too. Well, slow-ish. It's got decent volume though. NAS is also kind of ranging. I will say the NAS looks like it's setting up for a potential move higher. Right now it's breaking through the 200 moving average on the 10-second chart. The 9, 12 are pushing up towards a crossover of the 200. And the EMA 50 is on approach to cross over the 200 moving average as well. Although that will be a few more minutes away. But the NAS is breaking this little resistance level that that's had along this 200 moving average. So NAS may actually come up and test probably this resistance area right here, up around 15.8 or 15.585. We'll see. I don't particularly love trading the NAS. ES did pop off that EMA 50. Wow. That's a pretty quick pop too. I see. It's actually a 5200 cross. Well, that looks better for some longer term. Oh man, I did not realize that I didn't have my my chart up. I apologize, guys. Tom, in order to get book maps inside of Thinkorswim, I'll show you. What you'll do is, first things first, it needs to be in your live Thinkorswim account. Ensure that you have real-time data activated in your live Thinkorswim account. Then you're going to have to contact support and ask them to activate Bookmap's trial version on your Thinkorswim. It does give you full information for Microsoft, Apple, and the S&P 500 ES futures. So I can use it to do this information here for the ES. It is not a full version in that it doesn't allow me to look at information on the NAS or for any individual stock that I want. That's what the paid version will get you. Once they activate it, which by the way, it took about a minute and a half for me to get it. They asked me to more or less log out and then log back in, and then you just go to acharts, and then it's right here, and you'll have a new little tab marked Bookmap. So that's how you activate Bookmaps on your Thinkorswim account. In my opinion, it's well worth it. It's a minute and a half of your time, depending on how busy their support is. But you get access to all this information In particular, order flow, level 2 data that is consolidated and much easier to read. And also adding it on top of a chart itself like this lets you visually see where those resistance lines are already with sellers. Nice pop up here. So I apologize, guys, for not having my charts up for that whole time there. So taking a look at book maps, you can see that we have a lot of resistance chilling in this 85 to 88 range. Right now, we're just kind of ranging on the day, although we did kind of miss this breakout. That's what I get for talking. We did break that resistance level, though. The one that was kind of there at 84 in this zone. So we did finally break out that. 86.50 is the high, so curious as to whether or not we'll actually come up here and test it. TTM's throwing in a cooling candle there. I feel a little FOMO that I didn't take this trade section here. Set up 311 on the day, but I feel like it could have done more. Just got a green dot there. TTM's at 1.7, 1.8, which is not overextended. Fair amount of orders sitting up there. You see 3,000 orders between where we're at and 45.88. Contract stacking on the upper area there around 88. So we may have a run for the top, like a new test of the highs inbound. Check the 20. Wow, the 20 actually like predicted this whole move. I know I'm just kind of sitting on my hands, but I've really been looking for like something that fits my setup, which actually would have been this, but apparently I'm kind of chatty today. What time is it? 8 o'clock? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about. That's why I keep trying to take those little reversals. And I'm trying not to buy at the top. That's why I keep looking for moves like this. But I keep missing them. I don't know why I'm so. Is there like a forest fire going something? I don't know why I'm so coughing and sneezing today. I'm not getting sick. It's like middle of summer. I think I might hang it up. Take my $300. Clearly, I'm having a hard time breathing anyway. Checking on the NAS. See if it ever got that move. Looks like it rejected it. Almost did it. Anytime that it's like breaking out above the 200 moving average and it's that far diverged, and you're getting this breakout in advance, that's usually sketchy business for me, and I'm often usually looking for the actual cross. Because you'll often get these false breaks. Do you know, I almost wish that I didn't look at my reports and see that I was at 100% trading accuracy for the month. So I'm like, now I'm like, oh dang, it's like getting like a running riot in Halo or something like that. You're like, oh, I don't want to. You start playing more and more careful, trying not to lose your streak. Now it's looking for support. ES is just slow now. Average volume's getting lower and lower. Average volume has dropped 500 contracts in the last how long? The last half hour or so, it's dropped about 500 contracts. For the average volume. Now our average is only around 1850, 1900. It's pretty minimal on the average contracts being traded right now. Yeah, I hope I'm not getting sick too. Nothing sucks worse than being, well, plenty of things suck worse, but it is not fun to be sick in the summertime. I will say that plenty of things on this earth suck worse than that, though. So count my blessings. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to cap it there. I think I'm going to walk away with my $311 in profit. It just seems to me that the volume has kind of moved over to the NASDAQ, or it's pretty slow. And I don't particularly love trading the NAS just because of the heavy volatility of it within a single candle. So being as that's the case, I think I'm gonna walk away from it. I also don't feel like trading oil. Oil's just been on uptrend, which I called back in June, by the way, on this stream, that oil was going to start trending upward and stay trending upward for a good long time. And it still is, last I checked. I haven't checked it in the last couple of days, but pretty sure. I don't know what the current oil is. I think it's V. Yeah, oil's up here at 78. So expect those gas prices to keep going up. NAS never did get that push. Totally failed. I think ES is going to fail at this area too. We've finally broken below the 50 exponential, and this is a really important level of support, especially on the 1 minute side. You can see we got this 1226 crossover to the downside. This looks like a decent short, honestly. Short there at 79.75, and I'm looking for a move down to 79. It immediately pops up. This might be our first L. Ooh, that's a big pop up. Cutting that, and
Order
that puts
filled.
us red on the day. That's our very first loss in this account. Wow. Should have walked away. Now I feel inclined to actually stay here. Look at that. I top filled that too. You gotta be kidding me. So that eliminated all of our gains for the day on that one singular trade. You know, when your intuition is telling you to walk away, you gotta walk away. And see, now I feel pressure to make it back. I'm gonna try for another short.
Order filled.
Can't believe the thing immediately popped up like that. It's finding too much support.
Order filled.
So I made a micro bit back, but we're still red on the day now. 45 bucks. I like being more green. Yeah, the only thing is, Tiny, is that the volume and the volatility and all that was there in the earlier market, and now the volume and volatility is not. I thought there was volume and volatility coming into the downside, and there just wasn't. It pretty much filled me and then ripped up, and so that really was the issue with that. And the real cue is there going to be enough of an opportunity to be able to do that again? And I may have to still continue to walk away on the day today. Let's check book maps. Let's check volume. This thing would load. See if we can get a pullback to like 81.75 or like 80 area. Come on, TTM. Yeah, you're gonna put a standing order at 82.25. Just gonna join the bid. Kind of missed a
Order
lot of that
filled.
move. I think I might have filled too high. Am I trading on tilt now? That's a cue that I have. There we
Order
go. Made
filled.
100 back. We're back in green territory. Up 59. It's not 311, but it's green. It's amazing how one trade can change it all, you know? Huh. Why didn't it count my loss? That's weird. That's really odd. Oh, weird. It didn't count my loss or my gain. Well, just in the reports. It's counting it here on the P&L, though. That's odd. Okay, so I'm going to look for a pullback to about 82.75, 80, yeah, like right here. And then a bounce off that. Let's take a look at the 20-second chart. This one's still in upward momentum. Let's take a look at book maps. A lot of resistance in the same locations that it's been all day. And we're getting a cyan switch. Let's go for 4 ticks. And let's join the bid right here. In at 84 and a quarter. I'm looking for a move to 85 and a quarter. Should have filled it slightly lower, but that's okay. I was a little overzealous on that. So filled on the 9 EMA on the 10-second side. Try to get out here at 84.75.
Order filled.
Should have kept it where it was. Again. Up 125 on the day. Volume is heavy on the push side. On the buy. Or rather, we have 13% imbalance on the buy side. So there's our rip. Are we just going to get a dip right now? Or a lot of contracts just absorbed. The cue, since we just made a new high, is that we're going to pull right back. New high goes at 87.50. A lot more volume and volatility than I was expecting to flood back in. I wish that I had gone for the full 4 ticks on this one, but you know, what are you gonna do? A little bit, about another 75 bucks. Up 125 on the day. A bit miffed about that short that I took. It's my fault though. Should have walked away, like I said. It finally counted it. It was a $375 loss, which is kind of poor risk management, in my own personal opinion. So now we got to work on that. Taking a look at the 20-second chart here. See what we got going on. We got cooling on the 10 and the 20. Just the 1. Shorts failed to push it down. Yeah. Yeah, I just I'm a bit miffed at myself for taking that short because I had already mentioned that I was going to walk away at that point, and so I'm grateful that I was able to turn it that we were only red for a short period of time. But I also look at that and I'm like, okay, what do I need to ask of myself about myself in order to ensure that something like that doesn't continue to happen? Um, it is our only loss that we've taken in this account since we started it. But yeah, there's a continued push to the upside up there at 87. And if we take a look at book maps, we've got heavy resistance from 88 all the way up to 90. So that would be a total of about 3,500 contracts to get to 90. So that's the real cue is, can 3,500 contracts come in and buy and push this thing up to 90? You see support coming in right here at 86.50. TTM's at 3.0. Wouldn't mind a pullback to like 85.50 or 86. Or on the 10-second, if we could pull back to the EMA 35 or the EMA 50, both those would look really good. That would be pushing it down to like 85.25. If we could pull back to this and then bounce off that, then that would also look pretty good. We'll see. So we got this red candle inbound on the TTM. We're getting a 9-12-26 crossover. See if that can push that down as well. So it's a 35 bounce. Looks parabolic on your chart. It almost looked like it. Watching this 10-second chart pretty closely here. Flash yellow. Hard to tell where the moving averages are. Kind of stalling out here. Stall out's done. With a quick pop. So the triple topped here at 87.50. Too much stall here for me to like feel comfortable taking this trade. It looks like it's gonna push and test the high. You got this double top up here, triple top actually. Got this triple top here on this flag at the top. TTM looks almost extended at 3.8. Very solid bar of resistance up there at 90. As you can see, some of these contracts got taken off. I don't really like this area here. Although I wish I took that 86 bounce, but it's whatever. Where did all that volume go? It's gone. Popped up to say hello. Now it's gone back down below. 8750 is being the high there. Yeah, so I'll mention just a little bit how I use it. I've only been using this for about 2 weeks now, so I'm definitely not an expert. Um, but I'm trying to learn as fast as I can, and I'll let you know just some of the insights that I've gleaned, if you will, from using it over the last 2 weeks. So once again, definitely not an expert, but I'll show you just some of the stuff that I have learned. So the first thing I'm looking at is so I'm on the ES. If you're not already, I'll tell you right there. The first thing I'm looking at is these on the heat map here. These are resistance if they're above where you're at currently, and support if they're below where you're at currently. The size of the ball shows the actual volume and how much contracts have been absorbed at that particular one. They'll show you red or green. So like here's a large red ball forming. So that usually means this is going to drop some. And that's quite a pretty large red ball. Sorry, difficult for me to speak. Some of these I've kind of played around with a little bit. Haven't done too much with the settings of it. I did add the volume weighted average price on here. And mainly I'm just looking at this heat map. That's the main thing I'm doing, is looking at the heat map, and then you can hover over it. You can see how many contracts are waiting there, or you can just look on the right. And this one, this current order book on the left, this is how many contracts are waiting at that price level. And you can see it's broken down in 50-cent intervals. I think you can get it closer. Yeah, you can if you just zoom in a little bit. You can kind of scale it with this. And then on the right side here, from what I gather, and this is not guaranteed, but from what I gather just by doing math, this order book on the right hand side seems to be the accumulation of all of the prices, the accumulation of all the contracts added up at each price level. So we zoom in a little bit, we can see 110, 130, 120, whatever. And then this one on the right is, matches this one. And then the second one up is the previous one added to it, etc. So this right here, this area off 84, looks like it may act as support, just solely looking at book maps. That's not taking into account my actual chart and the other things as well, like the moving averages and whatnot. But looking at this 84, it may act as support, and I can see that the buyers are outpacing the sellers at this particular point in time, because there's a lot more buy columns than there are sell columns. So that's kind of how I've been using it over the last 2 weeks. I would definitely say I'm nowhere near expert at all. This indicator right here is called an imbalance indicator. It shows an imbalance of the book or an imbalance of the volume. And I've not been able to find a ton of information on this, but I do feel like this particular indicator here may be pretty powerful. It took me a while just to find its name, which is called the imbalance indicator. And so I really want to understand this. I do not currently understand it all the way. So that's I'm sorry I can't be more helpful. This particular button here allows you to turn on and off like the VWAP, volume bars, things like that. And then there is also a function down here, a little arrow. It's kind of challenging to see, that will show you the how many buyers there are and how many sellers there are in terms of contracts, what the actual volume is or has been on either side of the equation today. There is also, yeah, so you can also click in the studies configuration, and then you can actually turn on, like, get more granular with all the indicators that are currently here. So you can adjust how the VWAP is, colors, things like that. The order book imbalance. I have not adjusted any of these just because I don't understand them all yet. And so the more I understand them, the more I'll dial them in and make them a little bit more customized. But at the moment, I left them all stock. So I hope that's helpful, Tom. That's kind of the best information I can offer at this particular time for book maps. Yeah, Tiny, I think that one of my favorite things about it really is the heat map. This is probably the thing that I use the most, is just the heat map function. Being able to see visually where all these orders are. And like right now, seeing that, there's a fair amount of orders showing up on the buy side here that may act as support off 84. So if we jump to the 10-second chart, should be able to see a little bit better on the chart on how this is doing. A lot of those orders are getting filled there along 84 on both the buy and the sell side. Mainly on the sell side, though. About 2,500 contracts gets us through 88. A short off of 87 would look very nice. Well, I don't know about very nice. This is like 12 ticks in this direction, but it still will look good. We are at 8:30. Yeah. Happy to help Tom in any way that I possibly can. So 90% accuracy today. That one singular trade took us from green to red. We were profitable 311. Took a 375 loss plus fees. worked it back into profit, but over the course of a few trades, over 3 trades, 2 very tiny trades and 1 normal trade. This looks like it's still dropping. Yeah, I've been surprised that there have been a lot less contract dumps today than I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more heavy contract dumps, especially on some of the rips that have happened, and with just how much resistance that we've been running into on the up and the down. It's is very. It seems like it's becoming a range day. Not a ton of contracts on either side right now. There is a fair amount of contracts sitting down here at 78.50. That's 265 contracts on that one. Total of 2,600 contracts to get there. About to get a 5,200 cross on the downside on the 10-second chart. That was the intention when I took this short over here. Right there. Was that it had just crossed to the downside. I was expecting a move back down towards the volume weighted average price, and we just didn't get it. And I kind of top filled this. This is why I don't short very often. So this found support at 82.25. Looks like it might give us another pop-up opportunity. Let's see what happens. I'll be looking for a cyan switch and the crossover. I am not thinking short, pawn. I'm actually thinking. I was thinking the same thing you are, of a bounce. Mainly because that first short didn't work out. On the 5,200, and usually if that happens, then it continues to happen for the rest of the day or for a long time throughout the day. Where that 5,200 crossover will happen towards the downside, then it'll just immediately find support and then bounce back up. And I've seen that happen several times. A lot of times, a very powerful move, but the accuracy of it, I would say, is in question. This did pull back down to 80. We are back at VWAP for the first time in a long time. The VWAP has steadily moved upward. Also, the 200 moving average is above the VWAP pretty heavily. Not that that's like a massive importance, but it is something. So this bounce off the VWAP, really off of 80, up to 82. So nice little 8-tick bounce, but not my setup. Looking to stick within my own tactic. The strategy for the day definitely is long based. And the tactic is really focused more on some of these crossovers on the upside. And cyan switches. Fair amount of trend reversals today, though. It's kind of like Friday, although Friday had a lot more volume to it. I get a push through like 84 right now. Let's see. We have cyan here. I'm going to wait for the crossover, but the cyan is a good sign for an upward move. Also, EMA 35 is below the 50, so we may run into resistance here at 82.50, which was an earlier resistance point as well. I'm grateful that I waited for the crossover because it never happened. I'm grateful that I waited for something that didn't happen because I would have gone long there and it wouldn't have been nice. There's not a terrible amount of resistance on the way up until you get to 88 in terms of actual contracts, but I think 82.50 might be a little line in the sand. It's got to get through about 900 contracts to get there. About 1,300 contracts to get through 83. By the way, y'all, thank you so much for being here. I very much do appreciate you. If y'all would take a moment to hit the like button, I do appreciate that. If you haven't already. It just helps YouTube's algorithm know that, hey, you know what? We're trying to provide some valuable content here. So we appreciate it if you hit those like buttons because it does introduce the content to other people. Kind of stalling out here on this 80 area. I was expecting a little bit more. There we go. That's the push I was actually expecting. Back to bookmap for a second. Heavy on the sell side. Look at that. There's hardly any buys there. Some resistance there at 84. There's hardly any contracts here. There's a lot more, like it's heavily weighted up top. Can't really take this trade at the moment. Really a lot because of how heavily weighted the volume is. I would not be surprised if there's a slam down, potentially at like 84. I'm gonna join the bid right here. I'm in at 82.75. I'm looking to get out at 83.50. This needs to pop right now. Otherwise, I gotta cut it. Gotta get above 83. 83 was already a pain to begin with. And 82.75. Yeah, I don't like this trade. Gonna have to cut this. Really trying to take advantage of a little push up before the push down, but it just didn't happen. I was looking for this to push to like 84. Sitting down 187.50 on this. I'm not seeing enough buy orders popping into this to really give me confidence in this trade. So I'm gonna cut this.
Order filled.
Cut that probably at the bottom, down $109 on the day. Yeah, just going back and forth now. So I'm not really loving the day anymore. There's significantly less volume, and like that reduced volume makes it dramatically more challenging to trade. We're at 8:45. What up, Ollie? Good to see you. Yeah, I did make some nice progress. I did give back a lot of profit today. I was up 311 and we're down 109. So I'm thinking of walking it for the day just because like it seems like all the volume and volatility left. This freaking pop back up. And that was our exit too. We had put it at 83. 83.50 was our original intended exit. All right, starting to see some buy orders pop in now. I'm gonna go for 4. Join the bid. Hopefully I can get in.
Order filled.
We're in at 82.50. Slightly lower than our original order. Kind of wish I didn't cut that. I'm looking to get out of 83.50 again, which it did tap just now, but no fill. Lot of resistance at 84. There's 257 contracts sitting there. We need to get 725 contracts or so to pile in order to make this rip happen. That's kind of annoying that hit my sell order and didn't fill, as has been the case a lot this month. Some pop back up to 83. I'm gonna just put my sell order at 83. Try 83.25.
Order filled.
There we go, we're out. It did tap 83.50, but I'm still glad that I reduced it a little bit. Well, maybe not. I mean, I guess it would have hit it either way. We're basically flat on the day. Yeah, I should have just kept it where it was. I've had a lot of those instances today that I should have just kept it where it was. But it's these stall outs that continue to keep happening that's making me reduce my sell orders, because we keep getting these like stalls where we're not seeing the follow through at that particular point in time. Then it comes a little bit later, which is very frustrating. Some resistance beginning to form at 85 on bookmap side. Also, only a few more minutes left in the stream. Then I'm gonna have to walk for the day. So we're getting some pullback now. I'm gonna be looking for this 5200 crossover to happen here. Here we are at 8:45. It looks like we're getting a push towards this 9 o'clock toward the top of the hour here. I'm gonna try and check this on the 1 minute chart, see what the jam is. Yeah, we get a red yellow. Looks like we're probably going to get a cyan switch here. Check book maps one more time. 85 is going to be the number to beat, and I don't think that's going to be overly challenging for this. And so I'm going to put this at like a 7 tick move here. And let's see. I'll look to get in about right here. So I'm looking to enter at 83 1/4, which it didn't fill at. Bumping up to 83.50. Again, no fill. Just struggling with the fills lately, man. 83.75 is the entry, and I'm looking for an exit at 85.50. I don't think 85 is going to be overly challenging to get through, but I still would like to see that push. 9 is above 12. We have a cyan switch here, down slightly in this trade. I want to see this 12.26 crossover happen on the 1 minute chart. Going for 7 ticks here, which would be an exit there at 85.50. And there's about 5 seconds left in this candle. I want to see this candle break over 84, maybe 84.50 would be kind of ideal with that. Switching to the 10-second chart here, because I want to watch for this 5200 cross and keep an eye on the TTM here as well. Checking in at book maps, still that resistance at 85, but it's about 480 contracts or so to get through in order to break that. Tapping 84.75. Did just get a new 1 minute candle, so I'm going to check that TTM. And there's a 9-12-26 crossover. TTM's looking good at 1.5, 1.4 area. And we're here at $85. We need a push. I want to see this push to 86. I'm going to take this off at 85.
Order filled.
Right, we're out at 85. Made 187.50 on that, which was the same amount that we just lost. There it is. Yet again, that same stall out that is... Man, that is frustrating. That same stall out. This has been happening all week, all month, where it's like stalling at this area for seemingly whole minutes. Not just this particular area, but a bunch of the areas right before the breakout. So I reduced my sell order because I don't want to see this drop down on me, and then it just rips in that exact moment, and it's been consistent. My timing is just ever so slightly off, and man, that is frustrating. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna walk away from the day. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna jump into our Discord community. Much love and appreciation, y'all. Ending the day on a green, gratefully. All right. Peace out, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 market time, or maybe a little bit earlier. Check the Discord for updates. All right. Peace.